We have seen in the last session how to create input components, how to create page block section item. So page block section item is a child component of page block section. Page block section item is a child component of page block section. Page block section item is a child component of page block section. Every page block section item will be displayed in one column of the page block section. Every page block section item will be displayed in one column of page block section. In the page block section item, we can have at max 2 child elements. Within the page block section item, we can have at max 2 child components. At max. It's not necessary that it should have 2. It is not necessary that it should have 2, but at max we can have 2 child elements. Right. That's how we have taken. So what is the overall structure we had? The overall structure is, what is the overall structure we had? In the page, we have a, how many page blocks you can have? In the page we have page block. We can have n number of page blocks. Page block can have page block. No. Page block has page block, page block section item. Every page block section item can have maximum we had page. In the page we had a page block. In the page block we had a page block section. Right. In the page block we can also have page block. So in the page we have page block. In the page block we have page block section. In the page block section we have page block section item. Then within that we can have maximum 2 child elements. I hope you are good with this. Clear for everyone? Clear for everyone? Right, Amma? Is it clear for everyone? Right. Now, the question here is, whatever the data you are entering in the input components, whatever the data you are entering in the input components, where the data will be stored. If I am using standard controller, this is how we used to give. If I am using a standard controller, we have apex page, standard controller. Account, if I had input field I have given. This is what I give. So whatever the name I entered, that is stored to the name field in the account object. Whatever I entered, that is stored to the name field in the account object. Name field in the account object. But now, if I am not referring to any one of the S object, where is the data stored? Right now, we are referring to S object. So whatever the data we entered, that is stored to the concerned field. Now the point here is, if I don't take any S object, where is that particular data stored? If I don't enter any S object, where is that particular data stored? We need to understand that. Look at the point. First example, I'll try to take. Apex class. I have taken Apex class. Here the Apex class. First point. If you want any Apex class to be called in the VF page, if you want to use Apex class in the VF page, why you want to use Apex class? When I want to write my own logic, I don't want to refer to standard functionalities given by the Salesforce. I don't want to refer to standard functionalities given by the Salesforce. I want to refer to my own functions. If I want to refer to my own functions, if I want to refer to my own functions, if I want to create my own logics, if I want to create my own logics, then I will go for custom controller, which is nothing but Apex class. If you want to define your own class, if you want to write your own logic, then I need to go for custom controller, which is nothing but an Apex class. I hope you got my point. If you want to write your own class, if you want to write your own logic, then you need to go for an Apex class. If you want this Apex class to be used in the VF page, if you want this Apex class to be used in the VF page, then that Apex class should be public or global. Any Apex class you want to use in the VF page, that class should be public or global. Only public classes or global classes can be used in VF page. Right. Now let us take an example here. Now what I am doing? This is how I am doing. Apex page control equal to Apex example. So if you are planning to refer to any Apex class, then Apex class should be a public or global. Second point, if this class has any constructor, no. If you want to refer to the Apex class, and if the class has any constructor, it is a must that it should have a constructor without parameters. It is a must that the constructor should have we should have a constructor without parameters. Look at this. Visual Force error, cannot find a constructor. Now what it is expecting? It is expecting a constructor without parameters. If you are planning to refer to any Apex class, if you are planning to refer to any one of the Apex class, that Apex class should have constructor without parameters. If you don't have, it throws error message. No. Now, it is a must that we should have a constructor without parameter. You want to take extra constructor, you can take it. Constructor overloading. But it is a must that the class require constructor without parameter. Any Apex class you are calling in the VF page, it is expecting a constructor without parameters. Go back to the preview. No issue. Right, Ma? So what it is expecting? In case if you want to define any constructor, it is a must that the class should have constructor without parameters. Okay. Now I want to refer to a variable in the Visual Force page. Then I should have set. Then the variable should have set semicolon get. What is the set? Whatever the data we are entering in the VF page, take the data, store it to the variable. In the VF page, if you are entering any data, okay, take the data, save it in the variable. When you say get the data. Whenever I am referring to the variable in the VF page, get the data from Apex class, display it in the VF page. Set means take the data from Apex class save the data to variable in the class. When you say get, take the data from variable, display it in the VF page. Get means take the data from VF page. Sorry. Set means take the data from VF page, save it to the variable in the Apex class. So I'll define here. If you want to define any Apex class, then class should be public or global. Then if you want to define any Apex class in the VF page, then the class should be public or global. Apex class should have constructor without parameter or no constructor in the class. Now it can have a constructor with 0 parameters or no constructor. If you want to refer to Apex class, if you want to refer to variable in the Apex class, then variable should be public or global. Variable should have setter and category. Setter. This will take data from EF page. Set it to. Yeah, get it. This will take data from Apex variable. So getter and setter. How are you defining? Set semicolon. This is how I am doing. Right, Amma? I hope you are good with this. Now, how this is going to run? Order of execution. When we load a page, when you load the page or when you open the page, when we open the page, first object will be created by the constructor will run. Then so when you load a page, what is happening? First, the object will be created for the Apex class. Who will create the object? System only will create internally one object. Who is going to create? System internally create one object for the class. Then automatically what happened? Constructor will run. After running the constructor, getter method will run. After running the getter method, then data will be loaded. So when the data is loaded on the page, after running the constructor, after running the getter method, data will be loaded. Are you getting my point? Whenever we are trying to open any page, what will happen? First, object will be created for the Apex class, constructor will run, then the getter methods will run, then the data will be loaded in the page. I hope you are good with this. Okay. Now let us see how the execution goes. So I had a class here, public string name. Now we are going to give how the variables are referred in the formula expression. Floor bracket, then variable. So when you are calling this, what is happening? Name means get name. City means get city. Getter method will be called. Getter method will be called. What we got here? Name, city. So if you are trying to refer to any Apex class, class should be what? Public or global. Variable should be what? Public or global. Variable should have setter method and getter method. Constructor should be with 0 parameters or no constructor in the Apex class. Is that was clear for everyone? Clear? Okay. Let us do one basic example to get the syntax right. Create one Apex class employee. Create an Apex class. Experience. Create a constructor. Assume the values. Create a VF page. Go ahead, Amma. Come again. Data will be saved in. I didn't get your question. Unmute and ask, Amma. I didn't get your question.
Hi, Satish. Yeah. So, quick question. So, in the records, like the object, right now we are just referring, right? So, in the database, will this
It's only variable.
column?
It's a variable.
Only
variable. The data is not.
Okay.
We are only referring to variable.
Okay. So it's not yet saved. You're saying it's just like a variable we are putting and get it.
It's only the variable. We are not referring to any database here.
Okay. Thank you.
And any data that need to be saved from database from the Apex class, we need to write a DML operation, and it should be a table. We have to take a particular table and make a DML operation on it. Then only data will be saved. Unless you make a DML, we cannot make any saving of data to the database.
Right. Okay. So this is just referring like a variable, like a component or a global variable.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Shashank, there are 2 connections on your name. Raj, what's your name, Mama? Raj.
Raj not.
Right. So let us move on to the next one. Let me show you the story here. First, let us go with whenever we are taking Visual Force and Apex class. Whenever we are trying to take Visual Force and Apex class, it should be public class. First, take the Apex class. Whenever you want to take a combination of Apex class and VF, first design the Apex class. So public class employee, public string, then define the constructor, public employee, right. Then what we are supposed to do? Apex page. How you refer to the class? Controller equal to standard controller means referring to a standard functionality. Controller means referring to your own custom logic. Okay, standard controller, custom controller. Custom controller is nothing but your Apex class. When you want to build your own logic, we go with controller. Then I am trying to just display. This how I create. So basic example is clear for everyone. Referring to an Apex class in the VF page, that Apex class should be defined as controller, and we can refer to the variable, whereas the variable should be public or global, and the variable should have setter or setter and getter. What is the meaning of setter? From VF page, if you are entering any data, then if you want to save it to a variable, setter. The data which is there in Apex class, if the data you want to display in the VF page, then we call it as getter. Then we call it as getter. Setter and getter. I hope you are good with this.
Is it necessary to declare any each variable like public?
It is mandatory. Now, if you want to define, if you want to use in the VF, set and get is mandatory. Okay, that's the reason I was supposed to give separately. I cannot put two lines together. Every variable we have to define separately with setter and getter. Okay. Now, the concept is clear, right? Syntax of writing this is clear for everyone, right, boss? Okay. Now, let us take the next extension. I want to take the requirement here. I had a requirement in this format. Then I want to give the structure like this. Here I was giving 2 buttons. Then I was giving this is how I give. So when I enter the sum of A and B, multiply the multiplication of A and B, cancel, reset all the way. So we require how many operation? Addition, multiplication, reset. So how many methods we require? We require 3 methods. How many variables we require? How many variables we require? 3 variables. One to store the A value, another to store the B value, another to store the Z. Right? This is the requirement what I have. I got a page where I am going to enter the data of A, B. When I click on sum, result we are going to get. When I click on multiply, we are going to get the multiplication of these 2 values. So get back to the story. Let us implement the example. So I was taking public integer A value gives A value, B value and result. So I have a method called add. So we say so it's a method. When you call this method, when you say reset A value equal to null, so what was this? I have taken apex class with 3 variables. When you call add method, we are adding the A value and B value, multiplication, then we are resetting. Reset means remove all the values, set it as null. Right, Amma? Is that was clear for everyone? Right? Everyone is clear with this example? Right. Now let us create a VF page. So how do you refer to the apex class? Then we are taking section, header, title. So we have title, subtitle. Now why I was taking apex form? Whenever we need input components, it should be within the apex form. So go back here. So I was taking page block. apex page block section. At the same time, I need a page block, apex page block, location, apex command button, value equal to. I told re-render means reload only element whose ID is this is how I take it. So let us see first output what we have created. So we created a page block with 3 buttons. Now within the page block I was supposed to create page block section. Now I hope you are good with this. Page block with page block buttons. Then we are going with page block section. In the page block section item. Why page block section item? Because I have to tell what is the label name and what is the input text. Apex output label value equal to enter. Value equal to, so what does it mean? Whatever the value we enter in this box, that is saved to which variable? A variable. Whatever the value we are entering in this box, that is saved to a variable. It is called set. The data which is entered in this box, set that value to a value. Whatever the data we entered in this input text, save that value to variable called a value. Whatever the data you entered in this box, save that value to a variable called a value. I hope you are good with this. Result. Now, how many columns I gave? I gave page block section, columns equal to 1. Why columns equal to 1? I want to get one after the other. So in the page block section item, I took a label and input text. Go back and see. Label, input text. This is one section item, second section item, third section item. I hope you are good. So enter the data. You are getting. Why the entire page is not reloading? We told re-render PB. Reload only page block. Why? The entire page is same. We are not changing anything on the page. We are only changing the data. We are only changing the data of the page block. Then we have. I hope you are good with this. People have followed this. Clear for everyone? Right. Now, why are you taking label? If I am referring to any field in a table, I will get label. If you are referring to a variable, you will not get a label. So I have to create my own label and display. Is that was clear? Clear for everyone? Everyone is good with this example? Everyone is good with this example? Anyone has any difficulty? Right? Shall we try one example? Right, boss? Okay. So let us take the similar type of example. Cross check the code. If anybody still have any query, let me know. Cross check for one more last time. Still anybody has any query, let me know. Right, Ma? Everyone is good with this? Let me create a example. when I enter the submit, it should calculate the interest. Implement this example. Implement this example. Meanwhile, online people, if you have any query, go ahead now. Online people, if you have any query, go ahead now.
Hi, Satish Jay here.
Yes,
We were about to discuss DS environment and
yeah, it will take you 2 to 3 more days more. Let the basic be closed. I'll start up. It's not discussion.
okay,
It's not discussing. We want to take these examples on the okay SFDX.
okay,
Once the people get comfortable with the basics, I'll get on to the DX.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. First, create an Apex class. How many variables we require? We require 4 variables. How many methods we require? 2 methods. Create 4 variables with the 2 methods. Create 4 variables with the 2 methods. Right, Amma? Have you created the Apex class, everyone? So, how you created it? Public decimal amount. Make an attempt from your end. If you're unable to write, cross check my code. This is how we got it. Public. When you submit, so we have given the same public void this is how we are taking amount, years, rate, interest. Calculate the value and cancel the value. So this is the final Apex class what we have defined. Everyone has done with the Apex class? Everyone has done with the Apex class? Right, Amma? Then start creating a VF page now. Start designing the VF page. Apex class is clear for everyone. Everyone has done the Apex class. Right, boss? Then start creating the VF page. Start creating the VF page, everyone. Is the Apex class is clear for everyone? Right. Then start designing the VF page. The VF page should start with section header. The VF page should start with section header. Right. So let us move on to the next. Controller. Apex page controller equal to Apex example. We want to take Apex form. And we are trying to take Apex form. Then we are going to take Apex page block. What are the two buttons we ask you to create? Apex page block buttons. Location is on. Location is on top. Then what we add here? Then command button value equal to action equal Apex command button value equal to right. Then we go to the page block section. How many columns you want? The number of columns what you want is one. page block section item. So we have to got page block section. So this is how we create. So what we have done, we created a page block with the page block buttons, page block section, page block with the page block buttons. Then we have taken a page block section. Within the page block section we have page block section item. Within the page block we have page block section item. Within the page block we had page block section item. Within the page block we had page block section item. Look at this, page block buttons and page block section. Within that we had a page block section item. Then we are going to have a preview of this. So this is how we have created. Right, I hope basic example is clear. So what we have taken, page block section, page block section item, and we have taken a input components. Then when you click on the button, corresponding action is getting performed. Right. I hope you are good with this. Right. Now the point is, when you are entering the data, I want to apply some validations here. Or else, when you are entering the data, I want to take this data, insert this data into a particular table. You are entering the data, whatever the data you are entering, I want to take this data, insert this data into one of the tables. Then how will you make it? We are trying to take the data, insert this data into one of the tables. Now, look at the point. This example is clear for everyone? Okay. Now, the point here is, if you are trying to refer to a table. Now tell me some of the tables what we have in Salesforce. Some of the names of the tables. Account, contact, lead, opportunity, still, case, still, user. Okay. How the custom objects are going to be? Load. All these are tables. Every table in the database you are going to call them as, the database you are going to call table as object. The same concept in Apex programming. In Apex programming you are going to call it as whatever the table you are referring in the administration, same table we are calling as S object in the Apex program. When you go to Apex programming, then we are going to call it as. That's the reason I am using a word called table to avoid the confusion. So S object is nothing but a table in the database. Now here it is a table. Here it has Apex class. Account is a class. For every table, Salesforce has defined one class internally. If the table name is account, we have a standard Apex class called account. If your table name is a contact, we have internally a standard class called contact. In this class, what variables will be there? What all the fields are there in this table? Those fields will become variables of this class. Now table, here we are going to have class. Whatever the table we have, that table if you want to refer in the programming, we need to use the corresponding class. For every Apex class, for every table, Salesforce has created one Apex class. Okay, in the table we have fields, in the class we have variables. Which variables are there? Whatever the fields are there, the same fields are taken as variables. Who defined it? Salesforce. Are you getting? So if we have a table called lead, internally we have a class called. If we have a opportunity, internally we had a table called opportunity. Case we had, internally we had a case. Loan we had, internally we had a. Are you getting my point? Every table in the administration we have created or Salesforce has created has equivalent Apex class in programming. Every table we had in administration has equivalent Apex class created by the Salesforce in programming. If I want to refer to the table, I have to use that class. If I want to refer to the table using a program, I have to use that class. If I want to refer to the account table, I have to use account class. If I want to refer to the contact table, I have to create a contact class. Are you getting my point? Table, whatever the table we had, the table in Apex programming, if you want to use, we are supposed to use the corresponding class. You want to refer to a record in the table, object for the class. You want to refer to a group of record, list of classes. Are you getting my point? So how do you refer to the table? In the Apex programming, we refer to the table with the help of corresponding Apex class. Right? Who created this class? Salesforce. Which variables are there? Whatever the variable, okay, what are the fields are there in the table? In the table, whatever the fields we have, the same fields are taken as a. I hope you are good with this. People are good with this, right? Amma? Right? Clear for everyone? Then, now look at the point. So how do you take it? Account. Now, is it a primitive variable or reference variable? It is a class. ACC is a reference variable. If I want to use that reference variable, what should I do? What should I do? Equal to new. What is the value of account ACC? What is the value of ACC? ACC equal to. Why? It is a reference variable, but not referring to any location. So account ACC equal to new account. Then what are the fields we have? ACC dot name field. ACC dot phone field. Are you getting my point? This is how I was creating one account. Now, is it inserted to database? It is not inserted. Look at this. If I have account, new account, is the record is inserted now? Just created. Only when you click on the save, data will be inserted. I entered the data in the form, but it's not saved. Similarly, you created record. It is not saved. If you want to save to database, insert. Then whatever the record I created, this will be saved to database. If I don't write insert, it will not save. Why? It is only variable. It is only variable. When I say insert, data will be saved to database. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? Is that was clear for everyone? right? So what was the main point here? Every table we have in the database has equivalent Apex class. Every table we have in the database has equivalent Apex class. If I want to refer to that particular table, I will use the class. Whatever the fields are there in the table, the same fields will be available in the class in the form of variables. Right, Amma? So let me take an example now. My intention is, let me give a quick example here. I was giving public then I am taking here public void. When I say public void create, then what I'm doing? Account ACC equal to ACC dot name equal to the name what we entered in the VF page. In the VF page, whatever the name you are giving, that I am giving here. ACC dot phone equal to ACC dot rating equal to ACC dot industry equal to. Then I was giving insert. Now what I was doing, whatever the data we are entering in the VF page, the data I was taking, trying to create one account record. In the account table, we are trying to insert one record. Right. Now let me create a VF page. We had Apex page block location Apex command button value equal to. So here we had then I was supposed to create Apex page block section. Apex page block section item. Output table value equal to this is what I got. We had a name industry. So we have taken name, industry, rating, phone number. So this is how we have taken. Re-render. Re-render. So basically, the structure is clear for everyone, right? What did I do? Section header, page block button, page block section, page block section header, page block with the page block section header. Everyone is good with this example? I was trying to create save. When I click on save, go back to account, cross check, the record was inserted with a name called Ready Labs. Now the record was getting inserted, but how do I get a message? I have to get some confirmation message, no, that record is inserted. Now record is whatever the data I entered, the data was taken, with the data record was inserted. Once the record is inserted, I have to get some message. Now it is a success, or it is a failure, or it is a warning, or it is an error. Some type of message I have to get. When I get the message, then only I know whether it is a success or a failure. Right. Then how to generate that confirmation messages? How to generate that confirmation message? Right now, how I am checking? I am going to the table and seeing whether record was created or not. Right now, how I am checking? I am going to the record and seeing whether record was saved successfully or not. But what I want a success message on the page. If the record was successfully created, create a success message. Now, first quickly, I'll show the example. Then I'll go for the critical points. Apex page dot. Message. Apex page dot. I'm just giving some example here. I'll explain this. Confirm. First, try to. This topic is not yet covered. First, listen to the UI. I'll show it. Here I was giving one message called Apex. Apex page messages. First, look at the UI. When I click on save, what happened here? Success, record saved successfully. So that if I get a message, I will know whether record is saved or failed. So that I know whether the record was saved or failed. Are you getting my point? So how do you generate this? This is a concept what we have to check it out. Prior to this, let us practice one more example on this. Then I'll discuss the topic in the next session. Okay. Now, once you created, whether it's saved or not, unless you show me, it will not be easy for me to understand. Okay. So I just created this example to understand it. This topic is not covered. We'll cover it in the next session. Meanwhile, let us take one example of inserting a record into any one of the table. Is the example was clear? Right? So what is the account? Account is a predefined Apex class referring to account table created in the database. Okay. Now, create a contact record using the Visualforce and Apex class. Create a contact record using Apex and Visualforce. Create a contact record using Apex and Visualforce. The fields what we need to take is last name, first name, phone, email. Create a contact, insert a contact record insert a contact record using Apex and Visual Force. The fields what you are supposed to take: first name, last name, first name, last name, phone, email.
Hello, Satish.
Yes, Amma.
So how can we handle the exceptional here? Can you explain it, or is that a different topic?
No, no. This I'll be including in this one. Success message, error messages. I'll try. I will apply try catch in the next class to handle the success and error messages. When I'm
Okay,
discussing this topic, I'll be discussing it tomorrow. There will be the tomorrow session. So how to handle the exception, try catch. We'll be looking at this try catch example in the next session along with the page message, because we need to handle the error which is generated. Okay.
And Satish, do you have any idea when we start the triggers?
Trigger will take long time. Trigger will be long time. Probably it will take around minimum 15 to 20 days it takes. Minimum 50 days it takes.
So what's our next topic, Satish?
Still we are in the basics only. We didn't cover the wrappers, list, set, map. All the basics should be covered first.
Okay.
Now make an attempt of creating the class to create a contact record. So ask you to take public string. Then I ask you to create a contact record. Contact C equal to C dot last name equal to last name which you captured from VF page. Insert as. This is only creating a contact. Create a contact. Whatever the data we are entering, with the help of the data, we are trying to create a contact record. If I don't write insert command, will it insert the data into table? Now what was this contact? It is a S object referring to the table called, it's a Apex class created by Salesforce. Now it is referring to the table called contact. It is referring to the table called contact. In the programming, what we are going to call it as? Table in the database, in the programming, we are going to call as S object. Every S object has a Apex class. Every S object has a Apex class. This class will refer to all the fields in the table as the variables. Now there you call table with fields. The same table with the fields referred in the program like a class with the variables. Now the table we call there in the database, in the programming we are going to call as S object. Every S object has one predefined Apex class. with the help of the class, we will refer to the table. Then if I don't write insert, data will not be inserted to database. Now when I write insert, data is saved to database. Are you getting my point here? Right. Now, if I want to give success message or error message, what should happen? I should know if, okay, success message or error message. Now let us see. If the DML is failure, insertion failed, it throws exception. When insertion failed, it throws exception. Which exception? Some system generated message will come, DML exception. When you get a message called DML exception, will I follow that? I am an end user. You are a developer, you follow it. When you go to ATM, when you are trying to withdraw the money, if you say insufficient fund, you will understand. Okay, if you get okay, arithmetical exception, then the customer will break the ATM and go, right? So the customer has to understand the meaning of the error. I cannot throw programmatical errors to the customer. I cannot throw programmatical errors to the customer. So what should I do? Boss, if everything is good, no problem. Tell him that it is success. If something goes wrong, I have to convey to the customer what was the wrong in the language in which he can understand. Okay, in the language in which he can understand. So what should I do? I have to go for exception handling in this case. While trying to insert the data, if it is success or not success, I am not sure whether it is going to be a success or a failure. Because when you are trying to insert the data into the table, the record may be inserted, may not be inserted. Tell me some of the reasons. Tell me some of the reasons why record may not be inserted. Maybe you are not entering the required fields. Now in this contract, last name is a required field. If I don't enter the last name, insertion will fail. Maybe I have taken the phone number, email, but I was entering number. Now data is not matching up. Error. Now if there is a validation rule in the contract which says account ID cannot be blank, you are not giving account ID, it throws an error. So the record may fail because of validation rules, because of required fields, or because mismatch of the data. Now it may be any reason, but I want to find out the record may be success or failure. There is a possibility that the record may fail also. I was trying to insert the data into database. There is a possibility that the record may fail. Every record we insert in the contact, will it be successful? I went to contacts. Now insertion failed because I have not entered the last name. So every record may or may not be inserted. I want to know why the record failed. I want to know why the record failed and I want to fetch it. I want to know why the record failed and I want to fetch it. So what should I do? Get the records, get the data, try to insert it. While inserting, if it is success, what should I do? If it is failure, what should I do? To handle this, we require try, catch, and we require throwing a message, apex pages dot message. These two topics we will see tomorrow, how to handle the insertion. In case if they fail, how to throw the error message. Right? Chalo boss. That's all from my end for the day.